So yesterday we learned the first 5 presidents: George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe. And we also learned about the 16th president, Abraham Lincoln. So today we're going to learn about 5 more presidents. So numbers 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay? So the 6th president, I'm going to show my remote learners. The 6th president's name is John Quincy Adams. Now there's another John. John and James were very popular names back then. And as you notice, this guy is John Quincy Adams, and president number 2 was John Adams. So who do you think this guy is related to? Raylan, who do you think?
John Adams.
John Adams. And how do you think he's related?
Because they both have the last name.
Yep.
Well, the first name.
First and last name match. So how do you think they're related? What do you think, Ellie?
That's his dad.
Yeah, this is the dad, John Adams. And then his son, John Quincy Adams, also becomes president. So that is a fun fact, is that this is the very first dad and son presidents that we've ever had. We've had a few more, but these are the very first ones. Now John Quincy Adams is his son, and he was not interested in clothes or fashion, so he didn't care about what people wore. And it is said, he wore the same hat for 10 years, and he didn't change hats. He only wore one hat for 10 years straight. Would you guys do that now?
Yeah.
Maybe? Yes,
No. You could get bugs in your hair.
Okay,
I would take it.
so that was John Quincy Adams.
Okay.
Now, our next president after John Quincy Adams was Andrew Jackson.
Who was that?
Oopsie!
I know that.
1 second.
Oh, Colonel Jackson.
Now.
Oh, him.
Andrew Jackson is president number 7, and he was the very first president that was born in a log cabin. So way back when the presidents were born, they necessarily weren't born in a hospital, they weren't born in a house or a cabin. This guy was the very first president born in a log cabin.
Wait, what? That's weird.
And he's the very first president to ever ride a train or go on the railroad. So there wasn't trains or railroads up until he was president, and he was the very first president to ride on a train.
Dang, that is just.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go on here to number 8. President number 8 is Martin Van Buren.
Oh, I love him.
And he was our president. And
He's bald.
guess what? He was the first president to be born in the United States.
What?
Because guess what? All these other guys, they were born in England. Because it wasn't until they came over to America and then they were able to become part of our country. So up until then, all these guys were born in England. Well, it wasn't until they came to America, then they started to become U.S. citizens. But he's the first president to be born in America.
That's why I like him.
And, yeah, all the others were born
Never
in
met
Britain.
him. That's why I like him.
Raylan,
Once we were like England and not America, weren't there like king and queens and
yes,
not like
yes.
presidents?
Yeah, so all these guys were in England.
And then we didn't want to be
Yes.
like.
And we didn't want to be told by a king and a queen what to do. So
So-
that's why they came to America. They wanted freedom from the king and the queen. And so that's why all these guys decided we don't want to be in England anymore. We don't want to be under the king and queen. So they came to America.
No, I don't know why the American Revolution happened, but.
Okay. All right. Do you need cards? They're working out Mahalia in their math.
Oh. I didn't
Okay.
see 'em.
That's okay. Maybe, hopefully they're out there. Wyatt.
So I have 2 things. So the first thing is, now that you told me that all those guys came from England,
Yeah.
So the first one is, so you're telling me that
What the
that George Washington came to America and then just battled
Yep.
his own.
Yep, or they were born in or I should say they were born in British colonies too. But a lot of them were not like U.S. citizens born in America.
And then the other thing is, isn't wasn't he a colonel
He could have been a colonel,
during
Yep.
1840?
probably. Okay, Kaden.
Then wouldn't that be against the law?
It would have been at that time, but now it's a new law, right? So it's a law that you have to be born in the United States. So good question. Good job remembering that. Abby.
I already remember that.
Two things. Doesn't it say on the back like thingy?
Yeah, I see a
The
lot
second thing,
Yeah.
why do they have star flower thingy?
It's just it's part of the American, like our flag has stars, and so it's just a star with their number is all it is. Okay, yes, Raylan, there's a lot more information,
Well,
but
that would be
some of you guys won't understand this.
50
It's kind of
states
hard.
full of 50 states.
Okay, now on number 9, this guy is William Harry Harrison. The H is for Harry. He's president number 9, and I noticed something when I just looked at his. He only has 1 year on here, 1841.
It was only
That's because he was only president for 31 days, so like a month. And then he got sick of pneumonia. Have you heard of pneumonia? Yeah.
Oh, really bad cold.
Yep, and back then, they really didn't have medicines or they didn't have doctors, weren't able to take care of it. So he was the very first president to die in office because he was only president for 31 days. He got pneumonia and he died. And so,
I don't know what that is.
Pneumonia is when
And
they're
then
so sick and
also a cool fact is that when he was inaugurated, so remember when you become president, you hold up your hand and say that you'll be the best president you can be? The day he was inaugurated, he did not want to wear a hat or a coat, and there was stormy weather. And they told him, you need to wear a hat and coat. It's cold, it's stormy, it's wet, you're gonna get what?
Pneumonia.
You're gonna get sick! And guess what he got, Wyatt?
Pneumonia.
Pneumonia. So they warned him. They warned him. Did he listen?
No.
No, and
he
then
doesn't listen to anybody.
got
He wants
sick.
to pick his choices.
and he died. Another fun fact
I
is
feel bad.
we'll learn his grandson, Benjamin Harrison, will become president. But not his son, but his grandson. Wyatt.
Wait, oh yeah. So one time, I think it was in 2019, I was at my grandma's, and then so their ditch floods, and then I wanted to go swimming in it, and then my grandma's like, no, you'll get pneumonia, and then my Uncle John's just like, just let him do it. He's begging for it. And then I jumped into the ditch.
Did you end up getting sick? Oh, you were lucky then. You were lucky. But back then, if you got sick, there wasn't a lot of medicine or a lot of doctors couldn't really care for you like they can. Now they can. Okay. Last thing, Kaden, then we'll go on to our last president.
You know how you said you wanted to go swimming in
The ditch.
yeah? I went in like a laughter and went straight through a ditch that was all soaked.
Did you get sick from doing that?
No.
Okay, good.
I was so wet though.
I bet you were wet.
No.
Okay, now John Tyler is president number 10. So he becomes president because Harrison dies. So he was his vice president, but now he becomes president. That's why we have a vice president. In case a president dies, they take over. And so he was the very first president to get married while he was president. And then, one more fun fact, one second,
Really cool.
is he loved kids. He absolutely loved kids.
Maybe guys.
Guess how many kids he had?
5,
12.
12,
5,000.
Okay,
12,
let's be realistic.
12, 12,
More than 12.
12,
15.
15. Close. He had 15 kids because he loved kids so much that he had 15 kids. And so that's just another fun fact is that he loved kids and he had 15 kids. He also had 2 wives. His first wife, it said she died after being the first lady for 17 months. So she must have got sick and died, but then he got remarried. And then he ended up having a total of 15 kids. Okay,
Oh my goodness.
that's a lot of kids. Raylan.
I know we're not there yet, but isn't there like a president that, like, I think he was the youngest person to be president and he's only 40 years old?
Yeah, yep, so we'll learn about him soon. Did you guys, a quick question before I get these. Did you guys like the story about Howard Taft this morning?
Kind of.
So he was, we're gonna learn about him soon. And he's coming up, but he was one of our biggest presidents. Let me see if I can find him. He's really a president. He's number 27. And he was a big guy. And so
Wait, you were reading about him?
we will learn about him soon. But this morning, the story that you listened to is one of my very favorite stories. How it's called, what was called President Taft is stuck in the
Bad.
And some people believe it is true that he was so big that he got stuck in the bathtub. And then some people will say, hey, that was just a made up story. So I hope you enjoy that story because we will learn about him. He was president number 27. Okay, Ingrid, you want to get mouth first and then get ready and go? Can you do that quick? Okay.